What's going on, guys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. Surprise episode. We're going to do our power rankings again today. I know usually I wait 2 weeks in between and I just did one, but we're going to do a different category today. And I wanted to do an episode because specifically there have been some people doing great work over the last week who I really want to give a shout out to. So, as usual on Political Fight Club, I like to knock people's teeth out if they suck. But if they're doing good work, I'm going to shout you out all day long. So we're going to do the top 5 with 2 notable mentions. And I also want to make a correction to a previous episode, or an omission that I made on accident, is last time I was talking about the top 5 lefty YouTubers who do what I do and like insult politicians, and I forgot Graham Elwood. I love Graham. I forgot him. Someone pointed that out to me afterwards. Yeah, I watch him all the time. I just forgot him. So he's awesome. Give him a sub. He's like if you got your politics from Ryan Reynolds. And he's a bit cynical. He really, really does not like the way that the American populace votes, and he thinks we're too stupid to kind of like, get our act together in time before the apocalypse comes. But I don't mind that. He's a little nihilistic, but at the same time, he's very funny and poignant, and he has some good content. Anyway, top 5, guys. These are going to be people that, top 5 lefties who have recently exposed faux lefties or centrists for being frauds and who are doing great work on top of it. The 2 notable mentions off the top are going to be Primo Radical and the Convo Couch. So the Convo Couch, they are on here basically because, as far as I've seen, no other channel is running with the same story as me or the same opinion as me as far as Cori Bush's protest on Congress's steps for the eviction moratorium extension. I've been basically saying that that was manufacturing consent for a shitty-ass targeted moratorium, because if she really wanted to protest, if the squad really wanted to protest, they have millions, tens of millions of followers on Twitter. If they wanted to get hundreds of thousands of people in the streets for an eviction moratorium extension, they would have been tweeting for weeks in advance and would have been planning it, and they would have had, minimum tens of thousands of people there. If you guys have 100 people at a protest that you throw in the middle of the night at the last second, that's not a protest. That's you wanting the illusion of a protest. So Cori Bush just manufactured consent for a shitty moratorium, and everyone else on the left is running with it, including some of the people I like the Vanguard, as if she actually did something. No, that was manufacturing consent, whether of her own volition or because she's too dumb to know any better. Cori Bush was a pawn in that move. It was meant to neutralize the ire that was aimed at the Democratic Party for deliberately allowing the moratorium to expire, while simultaneously giving the progressives something to run with, a little crumb that they could, as Cori Bush said, a molehill you can make a mountain out of. And she made a mountain out of it. It's bullshit. It was a play designed to neutralize the ire towards the Democratic Party for letting the moratorium expire, and they used the progressives as a tool in that construct, and it worked. Hook, line, and sinker. Convo Couch caught it. I also talked about it that way. That's why they're getting a notable mention. Primo Radical, he's on here because he does excellent interviews, and just recently he did a really great interview with Glenn Greenwald. He also talked about Jeffrey Katzenberg and did a really long episode breaking down how LA has criminalized homelessness, which I just talked about on my show as well. He's just putting out good content. So let's get to the top 5. And I actually have a tie. I'm giving a lot of shout-outs today for number 5, and that's Richie Medhurst and Rania Khalek. And why do I give them a tie? They're both doing great work individually, but in particular, they put up a video that's a half-hour long on Richie's YouTube channel that absolutely eviscerates Vosh on Syria. And this is something I love to see because Jackson Hinkle just wiped out Vosh on Syria in a debate, but arguably Richie is even more well-versed in Syria, and almost certainly than even Jackson is. He's Syrian. And Rania Khalek, there's 2 people that basically no one knows more about Syria other than maybe Aaron Mate that would be better to break down what Vosh is saying than these 2, and they did it, and it was a very entertaining half hour. They broke it down hilariously. They're so poignant and fun to listen to, so that's why I'm giving them the shout-out. That video was awesome, and they're both doing great work. Richie Medhurst and Rania Khalek. Number 4 is Max Blumenthal, and that's, you guys know why. He was the one that was trying to push Cori Bush on Medicare for All and their failed floor vote on the steps of Congress before that Neanderthal Goliath dude stepped in between him and Cori and threatened to basically, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, get away or I'm going to tear your head right off your shoulders. But Max Blumenthal exposed Cori Bush for being basically a tool. She didn't have a good answer for that. Her answer for why they failed on Medicare for All floor vote was entirely buzzwords, and you can tell she's been spoon-fed this stuff, and we would not know that about her had Max not confronted her and exposed her. It's great work. I love it. And then, of course, what he does is goes right on a Jimmy Dore show right afterwards and, points all this stuff out. It's wonderful. I fucking love it. I love it. Number 3, somebody who did very similarly with AOC and Cori Bush, which is Franco from Franc Analysis. He pushed them on the eviction moratorium, and basically a lot of people got in his face for calling out how the eviction moratorium is crumbs, and how this is basically the minimum we could get, and they're acting like it's an enormous victory, and a lot of people got at him. He was very brave. He also does great content. And I haven't mentioned it before because I just found out about him, but Franco at Franc Analysis doing excellent work. Give him a sub as well. He's number 3. Number 2, Briahna Joy Gray. And I'm not doing her any favors because I feel like I need to defend her for anything. She can defend herself. The video I just dropped on Tim Black was because he was being a fucking dickhead, and I had to cut him off. So Briahna's getting this because she went on Crystal and Friends, and Crystal and that other dude that sometimes is on the show, I think his name's Kyle, they pushed her on the cynicism behind a lot of people that maybe would refuse to vote for Nina Turner because she's running as a Democrat. Now, that's a straw man by itself, but that's what Kyle says. He goes, isn't that cynicism kind of defeatist? Because now we're not voting for somebody who we think might actually get change done in there just because she happens to be running blue and not green, or for the People's Party or whatever. Now, this is a ridiculous thing for Kyle to say. Kyle 6 months ago would be ashamed of Kyle today for asking this stupid thing. The question is basically well, the stakes are slightly different and the person is slightly different this time around, but we've only let you guys down 12 times in the past. What's to say that this 13th time when we run someone in here who I arbitrarily think has slightly better leadership skills than the other 12 people we've put in there, why that can't work? Again, that's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And this is an insane argument from Kyle, who is not an insane person, at least not up until recently. So it begs the question, why is he making this argument? And why is he pushing Briahna on this? And I'll get to her response in a second. Kyle is pushing this because he, similarly to Tim Black, was riding on the possibility, and has put it out numerous times on their shows, that Nina Turner's going to go in there and correct the squad, and she has the leadership qualities that they all lack. They're all cowards. Nina's going to go in there and get things done, which is naive at best, insane at worst. But their shows are predicated on that hope. And they were hoping that she would win, go in there and do something and prove them right. But the fact is, they're both Democratic Party reformists, and Nina losing almost proved everyone else right in a way that we didn't even expect. We all thought that Nina was going to go in there and she was going to win like I did, and she was just going to kind of fail the way the squad did. No. It's worse than even that, Kyle and Tim. Democratic reform is so futile that even the best we had, Nina Turner, outraised her opponent 2-1, and they still put the thumb on the scales to make sure she didn't get in there. It is so futile, we probably won't ever get another Justice Democrat in there. And they can't admit that truth. So Kyle turns around and he's defending, the idea that maybe the voters were the ones that were the problem. These purists on the left that want Nina to be the way that she was when we fell in love with her, but refused to just surrender our vote if she went way neoliberal, which she did. That's the argument he's making. And God bless Briahna, she makes exactly the right point. She goes, no, shut up, Forrest Gump. Your ideology is very much like Forrest Gump, and so is your haircut. But here's the right thing to say. Nina has to go get those votes. It is not incumbent upon the voter to meet the politician halfway. If Nina Turner runs on the things that made her popular in the first place, that got her the Democratic base, she probably wins anyways. And the other thing is, and I would add to what Briahna said, is she needed to be more militantly against the Democratic Party and certainly not so cozy with the squad. I would have gone militant against the squad a little bit as well, being like, they don't know what they're doing. I will go in there and sort things out. That's what I would have run on. She didn't want to do it. She cozied up to the establishment and to the squad, who nobody trusts anymore. And Kyle, he really needed this. This was a win for him. This would have done immense amount for his show, and he's floundering like crazy because he is on the fence on these things when it comes to the squad and when it comes to TYT, and now his numbers are dropping because of it. People are fleeing in flocks. So, Briahna, that's exactly the right answer. It is incumbent upon the politician to go get the votes, especially of the ones, or especially the people in their base that fell in love with them running on a certain type of platform. If she was the firebrand Nina that we all remember from back in the day, she probably wins, but she didn't want to do that. That's not inspiring. And, you know, so much of the success of the Tim Black show and of Kalinski's show was riding on that. So they're still defending it. I hope Kyle can correct, but Briahna made exactly the right point. She just basically took Crystal and Kyle's heads and conked them together and was like, no, stop, you establishment defenders. For God's sakes, you squad defenders. Bravo. Lastly, number one is Jimmy Dore. We knew that was going to be the case. He went on tour, and I'm not just giving it to him because his tour has made him very, very popular, let's say, over the last couple of weeks. But his content has been second to none. He's really acting as a voice and a platform for a lot of these other people like Max Blumenthal and Aaron Mate to get their word out there more quickly. And he's following all the rules of Fight Club. His shit is entertaining. He hasn't broken any of the rules like he may have back in the day. He's been basically keeping the debate on topic, making fun of the people that we need to, and exposing the people that we need to. And you know what's happening? The phenomenon I talked about, Political Fight Club, man, the left is correcting itself. His numbers are 5 times what Kyle's are, and he has 100,000 less subs, and he's been putting on about 1,200 subs a day for a week. That's unheard of. Jimmy is breaking the algorithm because he's doing what I want to do on this show and what all these other people that are popping off right now do to one extent or another, Jackson Hinkle included, is call people out, also do the news. That way we self-correct, and you beat the algorithm because people like it when you go after people that are being dum-dums. Those videos always get a ton of likes. My going after Tim Black or TYT, that shit just pops off. People like watching it. Jimmy Dore is doing a great job of helping the left self-correct. He's being a great voice and a good platform for a lot of these other journalists that don't have his numbers, and he's just growing. He's getting more live viewers than all of these other big platforms combined, like Sam Cedar, David Pakman, TYT. It's bananas. And you want further evidence? The other smaller channels, like Briahna Joy Gray, when she went live last night, she gets way more views than some of these huge channels. Like, she gets so many more views than Tim Black does live. Same thing with the Vanguard. Same thing with Jackson Hinkle. Over 1,000 live viewers. That's tremendous. People are tuning in to the new left. And Kyle Kalinski, it looks like he's going down with the Titanic that is Cenk Uygur. So that's the top 5. I'll give you the top 7. Primo Radical, the Convo Couch, Rania Khalek and Richie Medhurst, Max Blumenthal, Franco and Franc Analysis, Briahna Joy Gray and Bad Faith Podcast, and Jimmy Dore. You guys are all doing great work out there. Let's keep fighting the good fight. And let's keep smothering all of these punks the way that we've been doing. I mean, Briahna Joy Gray and Jimmy Dore are just racking up the corpses of these neolibs. Briahna Joy Gray has bodied 4 really bad, like not super bad neoliberals. Thomas Frank isn't too bad, but she ran circles around him. She took out Noam Chomsky. She also took down Sam Cedar, and she took down Ryan Grimm. That's why she gets attacked so hard. She's out there fucking hunting elephants. That's what's happening. She is a unique weapon to the left, which is why she gets targeted so much. So, you know, if you don't like Briahna Joy Gray, you can go get fucked. If you come out here and she's doing this kind of work and you insult her, expect me. If you insult any of these guys, expect me. Keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.